We good. So 3-2, solving inequalities using addition and subtraction. And we are going to be graphing all of these. Right in the chats what the first step of this problem is. Come on, people. What's the first step? Right in the chat. But yes, you add 15. We'll do it next time. Add 15 to both sides. And we get x is greater than 3. So instead of thinking this like negative 12 plus 15, just think of it like 15 minus 12. It's much easier to think about, I think. So x is greater than 3. Show me with your hands, open or closed dot. Open or closed dot. Open. Good, good. Because it means numbers greater than 3, not equal to 3, but greater than 3. So we have our 3 below the line. And then, ooh, that was strangely laggy on the old smartboard. So 3, it's an open dot because it does not include 3, but it does include every single number greater than 3. How many numbers are there greater than 3? There's a specific math word I'm looking for. How many numbers? Infinite. Yes, good. Because I could have 3.100 zeros in a 1, 3.101 zeros in a 1, so you can get to infinite solutions, like so. All right, so this one, what I don't like is they wrote the variable on the wrong side. So I would always rewrite it so the variable's on the left. So the alligator is eating the 10. Make sure the alligator continues to eat the 10. I was about to write it the wrong way. And all you got to do is add 3 to both sides. And you get x is less than or equal to 13. Show me with your hands, open or closed. Closed, good, good. So lucky number 13 below. Show me, raise your hand if the arrow goes left or right. Raise whichever hand, it goes left or right. Good. Everyone who has their hands up, correct so far. So arrow goes to the left. Remember this inequality and this arrow point the same way. And that's only if the variable's on the left. Excellent. Okay, let's write this one down. Now we did addition. Moving on to subtraction. Oh, and realize you guys tonight, there are 2 homework assignments, page 174 and page 181, because I had like 12 kids already from last period turn it in. And what they did is they did 174, but forgot to do 181. So I gave them 5 out of 10. So just make sure you do both assignments. And if you can figure out how to include, like if some of you guys will submit like 3 JPEG files, like 3 different photos, figure out how to join those photos together so I don't have to open 3 separate documents. It just make my life a little easier. And I can help you figure that out as well. This one, first step, we are subtracting now. We're subtracting 6 from both sides. So t is greater than, when you're subtracting 2 negatives, add the numbers, keep the sign, negative 10. Open or close, show me. Open, good, good. So we have open dot at negative 10, and the arrow points to the right, just like the inequality. So it should seem incredibly easy, these problems, right? If they seem hard to you, please ask me at access time, or we'll have like 45, 50 minutes of homework time. You can ask me then as well. Okay, so we got a story problem here. It says, The hard drive on your computer has a capacity of 122 or 120 rather gigabytes. You have used 85 gigabytes. You want to save some home videos to your hard drive. What are the possible sizes of the home video collection you can save? So capacity 120, we've used 85, and we want to know the possible sizes that you can save. Okay, so X is going to equal gigabytes. So I know I have 85. I know my total is 120. I know I'm going to have an X. So first things first, is this going to be a plus or a minus? You can show me like plus or minus, or with your fingers. That's good too. Plus or minus. Plus, very good. So, and then it has a capacity of 120. So does it have to be less or more than 120? Less or more. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Less than 120. Can it be exactly 120? Can it be equal to 120? Yeah. So it can equal as well. So let's say you screwed this up and you did minus 85 instead of plus here, and you would have added 85. You would have ended up bigger than your capacity of your hard drive. So that would indicate you did the problem incorrectly. Here, if we subtract 85, then we get X is less than or equal to 35 gigs. Don't forget those units, right? Otherwise you lose points. So look at this final question here. What are the possible sizes? In the chat, give me some possible sizes of home videos you could import. In the chat, write it down, just a number. What satisfies this equation? X is less than 35. Not a single person has written in the chat. Well, give me a number less than 35. Not a hard question. Good job, Jackson. Charlotte, Shay, good. Pearson, Rutledge, excellent. Elise. Now, does 35 work? Give me a head nod, yes or no. Does 35 work? Yes, it does. Right? So possible sizes, 35, 32. You could have one, anything 35 or less. You could have 1.5 as well. That's fine. Okay, so make sure you answer the question. So we're moving on. So 3-3, solving inequalities using multiplication and division. We're going to talk about this, so you don't have to write this down yet, but actually I'm going to make it a little smaller so I can write on the side here. So what I want you guys to understand is why you have to switch the inequality when you multiply or divide by a negative. So if I have something simple like 3 is greater than 1, is that a true statement? Nod your head, yes or no. Yes, that is a true statement. So I can just make a random, I'm just totally making this up. I'm going to use the same thing they did over here. But what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by the exact same number. In this case, I'm going to multiply both sides by -2. I'm going to keep that inequality greater. So over here, I would get -6. And then 1 times -2 is -2. Is -6 greater than -2? Shake your head, yes or no? No, it is not. So if I multiply both sides by a negative, what do I have to do to the inequality? Flip it. Exactly, right? So that's why you have to flip the inequality, because we multiplied by the same thing, and then it made a false statement. To fix that false statement, we have to go from greater than to less than. So that's the why behind switching the inequality. Okay, let's write this one down. X over 3 less than negative 2. See, we're already 6 slides in out of 10. Santi must have had some connection issues or something. So we're trying to get this x by itself. Divide by 3 is in the way. What's the first step? So tell me in the chat. First step in the chat. Times what? Times 3, right? So times 3 times 3. So we get x. Now, what did I multiply by a positive or a negative? I multiplied by a positive, right? So multiplied by a positive, the inequality does not switch. So it doesn't matter that this negative 2 is here, right? I'm multiplying by a positive 3. That's why it doesn't switch. And we're going to go ahead and graph this. Negative 6 down here, open dot, arrow left. Arrow and inequality both go to the left. Four more slides, that's it. We've only been in class for like 20 minutes. Okay, so this one, we have c over 8 is greater than 1/4. What can I do to solve this problem? I don't want to get a common denominator. Go for it, Anna. I didn't hear you.
Times 8.
Say that again?
You would times 8 to both sides.
Okay, what else could I do? You could do that. That works.
You could...
I'll give you a hint. Cross multiply. Much easier, right, than getting a common denominator and figuring it out. If you have two fractions on each side, I would almost always cross multiply. I can't think of a situation where cross multiply wouldn't be the best option. So we're going to go upper left to lower right. Go ahead, Anna. Did you have a question?
I was just going to solve it. 4c is greater than 8.
Okay, what's next?
Then you could divide 4 to both sides.
Divide 4.
So 4 is greater than...
C, you mean, but yeah.
C is greater than 2.
Perfect. Open or close dot? Show me, please. Open, 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 open. Excellent. So write the 2 below, open dot, arrow right, just like my inequality. Okay, so most of you guys said nobody asked me, but I just want to make sure. The book, online textbook, wasn't working yesterday, so I never was able to load that page 168 correctly. So I just deleted it. 168 will never exist. Okay, so if you didn't do 168, don't worry about it. Last night's homework, you had no homework last night. All right, so here we have negative 3/4 W greater than or equal to 3. So I could take this and multiply by the reciprocal. That's flipping the fraction. I want to show you what I think is an easier way. So I'm just going to get rid of this 4 first. So the opposite of divide by 4 is times 4, and that enables those 4's to cancel on the left. I'll multiply the right by 4 as well. So I end up with negative 3W greater than or equal to 12. So if you do that just with 2 steps instead of just 1, I think it's a lot easier. Now we're going to divide by a negative, which means I need to flip the inequality. So W is less than or equal to negative 4, right? Divide by a negative, flip inequality. Okay. So don't forget that. We got to graph this sucker. -4, close dot, arrow to the left. So you'll notice I always draw my number line thing, and I'll get your question in a sec, Ari. I always draw my number line thing above the line. I started to do that because I would get these kids that would go like that and say, oh no, it was a closed dot. There's this tiny little open part here. Is it open or closed? I don't know. So just draw it above the number line so I can tell for sure. Because if I have doubt, I just mark it wrong. Okay, so just do the thing above the number line. Question, Ari.
Is the only time you flip the inequality when you only do that if you're dividing a negative?
Or multiplying a negative.
Okay.
Okay, multiply or divide the negative. That's when you flip. Okay, second to last slide. You walk dogs in your neighborhood after school. You earn $4.50 per dog. So when you see those words per or each, that's when you need a variable. How many dogs, that's what your variable is going to be, do you need to walk to earn at least 75 bucks. So X in this case is going to be dogs. If you want to use D for dogs, I don't care. Do you have another question, Ari, or is that from before? Okay, no worries. So we got 4.5x. We have 75. And I'm intentionally leaving the inequality out for now. So in the chat, tell me a number that is at least 75. At least 75. 32 is not at least 75. 75 is at least 75. That's good. 77, 76, 76. All of those are at least 75. So that's kind of weird, right? At least means greater than or equal to. So I am going to divide by 4.5 on both sides, and I get x is greater than or equal to 16.7. Okay, I did it last period. That's how I know that number. Now, can you walk 0.7 of a dog? Hell no. That's twisted, right? Like, did you cut the dog's, which leg did you cut off? If you're walking 0.7 of a dog, that's not cool. So how many dogs do I have to walk? Show me in the chat to earn at least 75 bucks. 16 or 17 dogs. Good, good. A bunch of 17s up there. So you have to tell me that. How many dogs do you have to walk to earn at least 75? You have to walk 17 dogs to earn at least 75. So that at least thing, let's have a little side light here. At least means greater than or equal to. If you like making flashcards, with which all of you should, these would be two great flashcards to make. And then at most means less than or equal to. It can't be more than. That's what at most means, right? So at least means it's got to be the number or greater. So at most is less, at least is greater. It's kind of opposite of what you think. That makes it easier for me to know that it's opposite of what you think. All right, last slide. So we have -9y less than or equal to 63. First step and only step. Divide by a negative. So what do we have to do with the inequality? Flip it. So y instead of less, greater than or equal to -7. Graph, -7 down here, close dot, arrow to the right. All right, so that is it. now I want to talk to you about your homework because people screw that up. So we have page 174, 13 through 43, every other odd. So let me talk to you about what every other odd means. So if we start with 13, 15, I'm going to write every odd. 17, 19, I'm going to write them all just so people get it. So the only way I'm going to write out something like that is if students screw it up all the time, right? Every other odd should not be that difficult. So we do 13, we skip 15, we do 17, skip 19. That's what every other odd means, okay? So skip 29, or skip 31, do 33, skip 35, do 37, skip 39, do 41, and then like I never counted out till the very end to see if 43 is in every other odd or not. So if it ends at 41, don't feel like you have to do 43 as well. It ends at 41. Okay. So that's your homework here. And again, don't forget to do the 181 as well. Okay. So you got until you have 56 minutes to work on your homework. So you can easily finish that in class and have no homework this weekend. Have 3 days to chill, right? So great. I don't care if your cameras are on when you're doing homework. I don't care if you leave when you're doing homework. You can always come back in. I'll be here till 3 if you got questions, okay? So hammer away. Ask questions if you need to.
Mr. Evans, I don't believe I finished the assessment from yesterday, so
Uh-huh.
I'm doing that now.
Okay, let me open that up for you. Give me 1 sec. Was there anybody else in this class who was in the same boat?
Me.
Okay, so Clevis and Lauren, I need to open up. Anybody else? And you guys, Clevis, do you want to do it right now as well?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Give me a minute. I'll open it up for you. Okay, Clevis and Lauren, you guys should be good. Just let me know if it worked so I can make sure you actually are good. Gilmore, you should. Okay, awesome, Clevis. Thank you. Gilmore, should you put a graph under every problem? If it says graph it, graph it. Yeah.
Mr. Evans, my test still says pause.
Okay. Is it good now, Lauren? Sweet. It's a pretty cute little duckling you got there, Austin. All right. Kaysen was here and no. Ashley was here. Maddie was here. Charlotte, yes. Joey. Was Joey Coleman here? I don't think so. Shannon was here. Cole was here. Parker was here. Zasha was here. Austin, Ari, Clevis, Shay, Anna, Lauren, Anastasia, Christian. Was Christian Middleman here? Anybody see Christian? Elise is here. Noah is here. Dawson was here. Rutledge here. Okay, thanks, Shay. Megan was here. Dominic is here. Anna is here. Zoe is here. I'm not sure about Zoe. Let me see. Anyone see Zoe Weingarten? And Jackson was here. Excellent.
Mr. Evans?
Yeah.
I'm heading out.
All right, Jackson. We'll see you later, bud.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend. Great time to ask questions if you're confuzzled.
Mr. Evans,
Yeah, Shay?
I'm kind of confused on 21.
Okay. On 174? The first page or the second?
Yeah.
Okay, first
Yeah.
page. Oh, I'm frozen here, 1 second. Okay, there's the page. -21. So we have 0 less than -1/3 plus f. So immediately I will switch f minus 1/3 is greater than. Remember, these inequalities switch when you switch the variable to the other side. Then all I have to do is add 1/3 to both sides. So we get f is greater than 1/3. Open dot, arrow to the right.
Thank you.
No problem. Keep on asking.